Chapter 5. More on Microsoft Access 2016. Learning Objective. Primary key. Working with objects. Saving objects. Closing an object. Renaming an object. Closing a database. Opening an existing database. Primary key. Microsoft Access Table has a field or set of fields that uniquely identify each record stored in the table. It can be set as the primary key. The selection of a primary key is one of the most critical decisions you will make in the design of a new database. Primary keys are fields or fields with values that are unique throughout table when building an Access database. Primary keys can be used to refer to entire records. Each record has a different value for the key. A table can only contain just one primary key. MS Access will either automatically create a primary key field for you when you create a table, or you can specify you want to use as the primary key. Function of the primary key. The major function of a primary key when creating database in Access is to implement relationship between tables in a relational database. You cannot declare a foreign key in a table Q to relate with table R unless you have defined the primary key in table Q. Primary key allows you to create a unique identifier for each row in your tables. It is important because it helps you link your tables to other tables, relationships, using primary key as links. Primary keys also provide a means to specifically and uniquely identify a row of data, or record, in a table when building Access database. For example, a customer ID field in the customers table might also appear in the orders table. In the customers table, it is the primary key. In the orders table, it is called a foreign key. A foreign key, simply stated, another table's primary key. Setting a primary key. Let us learn to set a primary key. 1. Open the table in which you want to set a primary key. 2. In the navigation pane, right-click on the table. A drop-down list of menu will appear. 3. Click on Design View. 4. Select the field or fields that you want to use as the primary key. To select one field, click the row selector for the field you want. To select more than one field, hold down Ctrl key and then click the row selector for each field. The Design tab will appear. 5. Click on the primary key in the Tools group. A key indicator is added to the left of the field or fields that you specify as the primary key. Removing a primary key. When removing the primary key, the field that formerly served as primary key will no longer provide the primary means of identifying a record. Note that removing the primary key would not delete the fields from your table, but will remove the index that was created for the primary key when building Access database. Working with objects. In Access 2016, database objects are displayed in the navigation pane. You can customize the categories and groups of objects in the navigation pane. You can also hide objects, groups, or even the entire navigation pane. Access 2016 provides several categories that you can use right away and also lets you create custom categories and groups. Using database objects. MS Access uses objects to help the user list and organize information, as well as prepare specially designed reports. When you create a database, Access offers you tables, queries, forms, reports, macros and modules. Databases in Access are composed of many objects, but the following are the major objects: tables, queries, forms, reports. Together, these objects allow you to enter, store, analyze and compile your data. Here is a summary of the major objects in an Access database. Table. Table is an object that is used to define and store data. When you create a new table, Access asks you to define fields, which is also known as column headings. Each field must have a unique name and data type. Tables contain fields or columns that store different kinds of data, such as a name or an address, and records or rows that collect all the information about a particular instance of the subject, such as all the information about a customer or employee etc. You can define a primary key, one or more fields that have a unique value for each record, and one or more indexes on each table to help retrieve your data more quickly. Query. An object that provides a custom view of data from one or more tables. Queries are a way of searching for and compiling data from one or more tables. Running a query is like asking a detailed question of your database. When you build a query in Access, you are defining specific search conditions to find exactly the data you want. In Access, you can use the graphical query by example facility, or you can write structured query language (SQL) statements to create your queries. You can define queries to select, update, insert, or delete data. You can also define queries that create new tables from data in one or more existing tables. Form. Form is an object in a desktop database designed primarily for data input or display, or for control of application execution. You use forms to customize the presentation of data that your application extracts from queries or tables. Forms are used for entering, modifying, and viewing records. The reason forms are used so often is that they are an easy way to guide people toward entering data correctly. When you enter information into a form in Access, the data goes exactly where the database designer wants it to go in one or more related tables. Report. Report is an object in desktop databases designed for formatting, calculating, printing, and summarizing selected data. You can view a report on your screen before you print it. If forms are for input purposes, then reports are for output. Anything you plan to print deserves a report. Whether it is a list of names and addresses, a financial summary for a period, or a set of mailing labels. Reports are useful because they allow you to present components of your database in an easy-to-read format. You can even customize a report's appearance to make it visually appealing. Access offers you the ability to create a report from any table or query. Saving objects. You'll need to save any changes you make to each object before closing your database. Remember, saving early and often can prevent your work from being lost. However, you will also be prompted to save any unsaved work when you attempt to close your database. Saving a new object. Let us learn to save a new object. 1. Select the object you want to save by clicking its tab in the Document tabs bar. 2. Select the File tab to navigate to Backstage View. 3. Click Save As. 4. The first time you save an object, you will be prompted to name it. Enter the desired object name, then click on OK. To save an existing object, select Save in Backstage View, or simply click the Save command in the Quick Access toolbar. Closing an object. Let us learn to close an object. 1. Select the object you want to close on the Document tabs bar. 2. Click on far right of the Document tabs bar. 3. If there are any unsaved changes to the object, you will be prompted to save it. Select Yes to save, No to close it without saving your changes, or cancel to leave the object open. You can also close an object by right-clicking its tab on the Document tabs bar. A drop-down menu will appear. Select Close to close that object, or Close All to close all open objects. Renaming an object. Let us learn to rename an object. 1. If the object you want to rename is open, close it. 2. In the navigation pane, right-click the object you want to rename. 3. Select Rename. 4. Type the new name. Then, press Enter key. Closing a database. Let us learn to close a database. 1. Click on the File tab. The Backstage view will appear. 2. Click on the Close button. The table will be closed and blank database window will appear. 3. Click on the Close Times button at the top right corner. You will get Exit from the Access 2016 window. Opening an existing database. Let us learn to open an existing database. 1. Select the File tab to go to Backstage view. 2. Click Open. 3. Click Browse. The Open dialog box will appear. 4. Locate and select the database, then click Open. 5. One or more warning messages may appear when you open your database. If the database contains customized functions, a yellow bar with a security warning may appear below the ribbon. If you trust the source of your database, click Enable Content for your database to display correctly. 6. After enabling all contents in the database, you may see a message asking if you want to make the database a trusted document. Click Yes if you would like all content to be automatically enabled each time you open the database. Concise. One of the reasons to create a primary key to use it to create table relationships. A primary key is a field or set of fields with values that are unique throughout a table. You can add the primary key from one table to another table to create a relationship.